Elden Ring's nomadic merchant has 0 customers and may be dead by tomorrow, while Lorakan sits in his own golden tower shooting at his assistant because he's bored. Level by level, we'll see 5 video game merchants go from being catastrophically broke to running entire economies. And at the final level waits the biggest tyrant of them all, a landlord who owns an island and everyone living there owes him money. There he is, the nomadic merchant, a trader who apparently fears nothing, because we are in Khalid right now, one of the most dangerous regions of this already murderous world, and he could not care less. He just sits here while literally a few steps away bloodthirsty mutated dinosaurs live. He's got his mule, he's got his campfire, and just sits like this all day, all night. And this merchant with exactly 0 customers, because it's just me here, sells basically nothing. And on those rare occasions when some tarnished soul like me shows up, it's far more likely they came to kill him, because his little bell lets you buy his entire stock later from a much more convenient location. He's not the only merchant like this in this world, and for them, this is just normal now. That's why he greets you genuinely surprised. "Oh, you're not here to slit my throat. Oh, nice. Maybe you'd like to buy a little something." So this is a level 1 merchant. No clientele. He's more likely to die out there than to sell anything. And what kind of nomadic trader is he if he has never moved a single inch? So let's find someone actually running a business. And at level 2, we finally meet a functioning business. We are in the world of Skyrim now, in the city of Whiterun, right by the main market. And right behind me, there is a tavern called the Bannered Mare. But come on, let me show you what merchant on level 2 looks like. The inside of a tavern. Much nicer than the cursed red wastelands. A fire is crackling. You can feel the warmth. And look at that. Actual customers. Warriors sitting here, buying beer, tables loaded with food. A bard is playing. I hate this bard. He knows only 2 songs. There are rooms for rent upstairs, including a premium one that comes with a meal. Honestly, quite okay conditions. 2 out of 5. And all of it belongs to her. Meet Hulda. This is her business. She runs it with a small staff. 2 people work here, including her. And about this staff, the waitress bringing you the beer is called Sadia, and she's on the run, hunted across the whole province by mercenaries called the Alkir. So this place can be quite dangerous. The clientele isn't rich, the products are cheap, and that makes it one of the few businesses in this city that visibly does kinda work. But broke customers with a working business, that's just not impressive. Wait until you see the prices on level 3. Welcome to the city of Baldur's Gate. In the middle of this beautiful, magic-filled city stands a tower, Ramazid's Tower, named after its previous owner, who, by the way, was killed in it. The current boss of this business is a mage called Lorakan, who took the place over afterwards, and business is genuinely good. We're no longer talking about customers counting coins for a cheese. This is premium clientele. Although the boss doesn't serve them himself, a magical projection of him does. A copy standing at the front desk, because the real mage Lorakan is upstairs, busy training his animated suit of armor on his assistant, who does not look thrilled about any of this. Now the prices. For comparison, I walked around the city and collected prices from the regular shopkeepers. A nice silver ring with a green stone, 40 gold coins. A hunting longbow will cost you 110 gold, which is not a lot for a weapon that lets you hunt for a long time. So a normal person, they are able to buy the work stuff, and now the tower. A suit of armor, 3,520 gold, and a magic ring, 792 gold. And on the side note, Baldur's Gate runs on the D&D rulebook, and that rulebook says an ordinary laborer earns about 2 silver a day. That's 1/5 of a single gold coin. Entire life of work, but you can't eat, can't pay rent just for a single piece of armor. So these items here are really premium. But who shops here then? Mages, nobles, and psychopaths who crawl through dungeons with bags full of loot, often called players. The price alone decides who gets to be a customer. And one more thing about this place. Lorakan is the owner, but if someone killed him, the shop wouldn't skip a single day. Someone would take his spot, and the business would keep running. Because at this level, the business already matters more than the merchant. Merchants come and go, but the business stays. rich customers, premium prices, a business that outlives its owner. Impressive. But everything here still runs through one building. Level 4 doesn't have a building, but thousands of suppliers instead. And every single one of them is real. Level 4. Now I found myself in the world of Albion. And I need to explain one thing first, because this world is different. Albion is an MMO. Thousands of real people live here, fight here and trade here, all at the same time. In the very center of the map sits Carleon, a shady metropolis. The kind of city where criminals feel right at home, where players with the worst reputations come to do business. And it's surrounded on every side by red zones, areas where other players can kill you and take everything you have. And still, every single day, people load themselves up with goods and travel through those zones. Some make it, many die on the road. So what kind of merchant is worth dying for? Right in the center of Carleon sits the black market merchant. And this is where things get strange. His suppliers, those thousands of players, crafting weapons, hauling them through the red zone, dying on the roads to reach his door. And he buys it all, every item, any amount, at any hour. I tried to deliver access there too, then this guy started chasing me and he wanted to chop my head off. Let's say I always loved picking up herbs. The scale here is absurd. Fortunes flow through this one spot every single day. More wealth passes through his hands than through the first 3 merchants combined times 10, or maybe times 100 or even 1,000. His clients he never sells to players. He smuggles the goods out of the city, he supplies the monsters, dungeons, chests, you name it. Every hostile faction in Albion gets its gear from him. That sword a wolf drops somewhere in the wild. A real person crafted it, carried it through the red zone, sold it to him and he passed it on to the wolf. This man supplies the loot for every monster and every chest in this world. And one more detail. Thousands of real people dying on the road just to reach the door. That's a big scale. But scale isn't the same as power. Level 5 is the only merchant on this list who put you in debt before you said a single word. Level 5. Our final merchant. A raccoon named Tom Nook. I have to warn you, this friendly-looking creature is in fact pure evil. Look at the evidence. Animal Crossing on the GameCube. You arrive in his town, and before you've done anything, he hands you a house. Oh, that's okay. And a debt to go with it. And now you work for him to pay it off. You are a debtor here. Basically, his property. Obviously, it doesn't stop there. The man built his whole reputation on being intimidating, and he's completely fine with that. His philosophy, in his own words, dreams are nothing in the face of money. Phew. His store, the staff is 2 little raccoons, Timmy and Tommy, kids working his shop. He's off to important meetings. Word around town is, those meetings look suspiciously like a golf. Which I wouldn't say is evil. But who knows? And don't think this is some small town shopkeeper. His real business is real estate, and it grows with every single game. By the newest one, he's the founder of Nook Incorporated. The company runs the entire island program. It even prints its own currency, named after him, of course. And that debt of yours, it comes back in every single game. New town, new island, doesn't matter. You land and you owe him again. Game by game, island by island, the Raccoon's empire just keeps growing. One player did the math to uncover Tom Nook's net worth. He counted his real estate and land just from the New Horizons. And I knew Tom was filthy rich. But I did not expect his net worth to be $600 billion. That would make him the second richest person on Earth, behind only Elon Musk. Let's do a funny little quiz. What is the biggest crime Tom Nook has ever committed? A. Robbing an orphanage. B. A bank heist. C. Founding his own island state to seize power over its people. D. Building thermonuclear weapons. Got your answer? Great! The correct answer is C. He owns a country-like island with an actual population living there. But is he good for his own people? Well, of course he is. I just arranged this whole intro so you'd think he's some mega villain out to conquer the world. Because, let's be honest, that sounds pretty cool. Tom Nook, he really does put people into debt, but in reality, the guy does a ton of genuinely good work. So let me show you what I left out. Word is, that famous debt of his comes with no interest and no deadline. He never once comes to collect it. This is no mafia. You pay whenever you want, or never. Rumor has it, the kids in his shop are orphans. He took them in and raised them himself. He taught them everything he knows, so they would never struggle the way that he did. They say the boys see him as their hero, and it is said that the money he makes, over 90% of it, goes to an orphanage a few times over, and he hides it. His own words. We must keep this between us. I have a reputation to uphold. He'd rather everyone keep thinking he's a heartless businessman. So who is this raccoon really? There is one character in the game who knew him before all of this: Sable. An old friend from his hometown. They grew up together, and she remembers
Sweet young Tom Nook. His call to arms, his ethos was dreams before money. He was so pure that people wondered if he'd survive this crazy old world. I did too.
young Tom Nook had a dream to open the biggest store in the world, so he left for the big city to chase his dreams. Out there, he also had a business partner,
And that partner most likely screwed him over.
Have you ever worked with a fox?
Yes, foxes are never to be trusted, I worked with a fox once in my life, never again, not after the incident.
Nook came back to his home village with nothing, and for a while it broke him. And still, he lost everything, rebuilt an entire empire from zero, and stayed the same good guy underneath. He just learned to wear a harder face. So, that was it. The level 5 merchant. An empire big enough to run a whole island and more, built from zero. And behind all of it, genuinely a good guy. A good guy who put me in debt the second I stepped out of the boat, but a good guy.